What's up, guys? It is Flash back with another video. Got some more charts for you guys. Today we're going to do a quick broader market, what I would call the broader market, and this will kind of evolve over time, but what I'd like to focus on is the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Russell, gold, silver, oil, and Bitcoin. I know there's a lot more to consider part of the broader market, but this is really my starting point right now. But if you go back through my Magnificent Seven video, you can see some of the stocks like Amazon, um, Google, they kind of look like they're topping, double top with a accompanying rising wedge. And so if we take a look at the broader market, let's start with the S&P and kind of see if there's any evidence that we can kind of gather from it. Again, bigger picture stuff. So here, um, we have a little top here, correction, and then this upwards channel here. And typically, when it's an upwards channel, it's not really ideal for continuation. So I would be leaning towards this breaking down, and it kind of already is. You can kind of see there's a little rising wedge here, and it's starting to show a little bit more weakness. And so that's what I'm kind of referring to when I say it just kind of feels like this is going to break down. Sure, it can go up, but I would say we're much closer to a top than we are a new bull market. So, from that perspective, I would take a look at some potential stocks or ETFs or investments that are just starting their bull market. And that's where I think maybe gold and oil can kind of come into play. Um, and then similarly, NASDAQ, if we go back out onto the monthly here, kind of put together just NQ1, the futures, the data doesn't go back, but I know the other NDX does. But for the sake of this one, this kind of had a nice little series of channels to it, and we're at the top of these lines, right? And then again, there's kind of another little wedge. This one looks like it already broke down and it's just retesting. And look at that, it's kind of like rolling over a little bit. If we go to the 2 weekly and maybe put Heikin-Ashi candles, okay, no, just a little bit. See, we're just starting to kind of look a little sketchy. But we'll see. We need more data, and I'm not calling for stock market doom. I'm just saying this looks like it could roll over a little bit. Onto the Russell. Again, big picture starts. We're on the monthly time frame. Sideways action and didn't make a new high like the Nasdaq did, or didn't make a similar high as the S&P. And so I think that's a little something of a divergence. I'm not 100% sure, but going sideways here, got some resistance. If we put on the 3-year moving average, getting into the cloud a little bit, nothing too worrisome, but just doesn't look great. It's not like I'm excited about this chart really until we break out a little bit more. So that's the Russell. And then we can also look at some of the indicators here. What I like to do is throw on, this instrument, so the Russell versus the S&P 500, and that's what this red line is. And so I also like to look at gold. So yes, the Russell versus gold. You can see this topped back in 2000, hasn't made a higher high, and it has these rounded tops, which I'm kind of seeing a lot of. We'll pull up the Apple chart, for example. This just kind of looks like it's starting to round out, just kind of looks like that. So it is what it is. If we move into gold, continuing into the broader market, what I would kind of consider the broader market, gold's kind of just chilling up here. Like it's had a great run, and we're just chilling around 2030-ish. I threw in this green parabola, like this is a dreamer's dream right here. This is interesting if this were to play out, but this is really the 3-year moving average kind of just smoothed and projected out. And then I grabbed this previous fractal here, this bull run from 2000 to 2011, and I just kind of put that in the gray here. So from a big picture perspective, like S&P could be rolling over, looks a little bit toppy. Gold is basing here, and be interesting to see what happens to stocks and crypto, really, even Bitcoin. 'Cause, I think, if we continue to see this trend, we're going to see a lot of, 3-year moving average kind of just smoothed and projected out. And then I grabbed this previous fractal here, this bull run from 2000 to 2011, and I just kind of put that in the gray here. So be interesting to see what happens to stocks and crypto, really, even Bitcoin. if gold is to continue on here and stocks kind of break down. I don't think really Bitcoin's been around long enough to go through a true stock market bear market. So that'll be interesting to see. And just jumping over to silver here. So silver on a really long time frame is just kind of steady eddy in this upwards channel, which is interesting. I got a few more lines here too, but I mean this is a a cup and handle from hell right here. It's insane. Starting in 1980, cup, and now we're kind of working out this handle. Really, really interesting. If we take a closer look, like this is just a base, big base. Looks like we're finding support on this bowl, on the arc, and a little hairy here with the moving average. Let's see where the Ichimoku cloud is. Okay, so we're right on the cloud. When we're doing that, when we're in the cloud, breaking out of the cloud, above this moving average, like that's what we want to see for continuation. So I like where silver is. Got to be patient. This is a long game. These are long game indicators. So yeah, kind of got to sit tight and see what happens. Now over to oil. This is West Texas oil. You can look at crude oil futures. You could look at other things, but this just has a nice shape to it. Really well-defined trend line. You can see the spike down here in 2020. And since then, we've broken out of this, again, call this a bull flag, a basing formation. You can call it a lot of things. But again, we're kind of just chilling. Kind of like gold, consolidating, finding our way. Throwing a moving average. Okay, we're just under it. Not ideal, but oil can kind of do this sometimes. Stays under that average. Cloud, we're over the cloud and kind of coming into it. So I could expect to see oil kind of making a move here. Not gonna lie. And then if we add in some indicators, momentum, distance from the 3-year moving average. Room to run. Kind of support here. I don't know what. I think this might have been on the 2-week. Yeah. So yeah, little 2-week trend line here. Again, there's that spike low. I'm kind of excluding that for this exercise. Finding support and room to run to the upside. 60% up above its 3-year moving average. Actually, no, this was 92% above. If we do that again, follow that moving average up, 92, you could be looking at $150 oil, in due time. So again, we'll see, got to play out. And then last but not least, Bitcoin, people are not going to love this chart, but I like throwing these arcs on here, these bulls, these domes, whatever you want to call it. But at least hear me out on this. This rising trend line. Again, Bitcoin was born in 2011, or probably before, I think, and hasn't really seen like a stock market, bear market. So let's add SPX here. May have to do a little finagling, but so yeah, like SPX really has never broken down here during Bitcoin's history. Meanwhile, if you go back beyond that, this is my other chart, but that's not a good one. Look at SPY here, Bitcoin hasn't lived through a drawdown like this. So that's kind of what I'm saying here. So if we do see a drawdown like that, I would expect, this to kind of roll over here. If we want to zoom in a little bit more, auto fit, we broke down this trend line, long-term trend line, and now we're in this rising channel, just like the SPX is, and we're squeezing up here. And so again, I think we're closer to, I don't know if we're going to launch into this, the halving and this next bull market, like that could very well happen, and I'll be wrong with this chart, but I think this is just something to keep in mind, and can't rule out the possibilities of, a rollover here and following this arc. I don't want to say it's going to come all the way down, but kind of just got to follow what the SPX and NASDAQ are doing. So yeah, kind of dark here with Bitcoin, but a perspective that I wanted to bring to the table. see what people thought. I think gold is going to continue consolidating and moving up. And then, again, NASDAQ, I think this is kind of pretty well defined here. Channel, wedge, kind of breaking out today. If we want to zoom in on today. Today was February 20th, 2024. Again, kind of just falling out of this wedge, you know. If that's legit or not, I don't know, but it has some touches. It's well defined, and we'll see. But that's me, Flash. That's my take. And guys, if you like this content, I like to do a lot of these charts. It's fun for me. Not financial advice, but feel free to drop me a like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.